What's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of the Summer Sizzle series, and happy April 1st. Look at this snow. We are getting I've been bulking for the past year now, and I've put on a lot of lean muscle mass in the past year and some body fat also in that process, which is very natural when you are a natural bodybuilder. So we are starting out the cut today, April 1st, for the next about 3 months. I'm taking it's going to be anywhere between 75 to 90 days until I reach my goal of 8 to 10% body fat. So what we're going to be doing here at Fit Body Bootcamp, we have an Inbody so that I will be able to test my body fat percentage. And yes, I do know that it has gone up a little bit, and that is natural again when you are bulking. But what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be using this guy right here to be testing my overall weight. We're gonna be testing my overall starting body fat percentage and see where my lean skeletal muscle mass is, so that as we go on through this cut, I will be able to use this guy right here, this very handy tool, to see how my changes are coming along, and if I need to either speed things up, slow things down, or push my protein maybe a little bit higher, and so on, everybody. So this is gonna be step 1 of the morning right here, and you're supposed to do an Inbody when you're fasted. So we're fasted, no water, no food. I know that right when I'm done with this, because we have sessions here in a little bit, I'm gonna be down and need some coffee. All right, guys, let's see where our starting weigh-in is. 176.8.
Confirm your personal information. Starting your in-body test. The test is completed.
Just like that, Inbody's done. It's going to spit out a sheet right here, and I'm going to show you guys where I'm at for my body weight wise, where I'm at with my lean skeletal muscle mass, and where I'm at with my body fat percentage. So this is going to be my 3 main things that I look at as I go throughout this cut, and use this guy as a tool. I'll probably use it in about 1 month from now, so you'll see that in the vlog from a month. Again, we're going daily here. Woo! All right, y'all, let's take a little look at this together now. So starting right up from the top, my total body water intake, it's reading 103.8, and typically where we want to see that is about 0.5 to 0.75 times your body weight. Next up, we're gonna have the weight. I'm sitting at 176.8. My lean skeletal muscle mass in pounds is 80.9. So that has gone up over time, which I'm super excited about. My current body fat mass is 35.3 pounds. But if we're going to transition that into body fat percentage, which is usually what we use, I'm smack dab right at 20% body fat. So I think that is a great starting point. A couple extra things that this points out: BMR, or my basal metabolic rate, that is sitting at 1757 kilocalories. So that basically means if I were to be lying right here on this table for 24 hours a day, that is how much calories I would be burning just naturally laying there and sitting there with no activity. So that's your basal metabolic rate. Looking down below is going to be the biggest chart that we're going to be using to compare my results over time. It stacks my weight, my skeletal muscle mass in pounds, and then my percent body fat. So we're going to continue to look at that here in the future, and hopefully we're going to see that lean skeletal muscle mass number at least stay right at 80. If not, if it goes up, that is a win. In order to save my lean muscle mass, I'm going to make sure that I keep my protein high in my diet, especially when you're in a caloric deficit. And as I even get further into that caloric deficit, might even have to increase my protein a little bit more. And then last up, again, I'm sitting at 20% body fat right now. Not exactly proud of that number. I didn't really want to get that high, but again, been in a bulk for some time, and I really want to see some specific numbers go up with my compound movements. So that's where we lie. Got to accept where we are right now, and then we're going to shoot for that 8 to 10% body fat in about 75 to 90 days. That's the goal. And again, going to be taking you guys along this whole journey with me. So next up, my workout routine. All right, guys, so today we got leg day to kick off this cut. So what my workout split, or my workout routine, is going to look like for the next couple months actually throughout this cut is going to be legs, push, pull, rest, legs, push, pull, rest. So I'm gonna keep on taking rest after each of those 3 workout days, just so that I know that my body's properly being recovered, because recovery is a little bit slower when you are in a caloric deficit. And so I always wanna make sure that my body's recovered up and I'm not overtraining along the way. So that's gonna be one of my biggest priorities, is retaining my strength and retaining my muscle mass along the way that I've gained when I was doing all that hard work in my bulk. So again, I'm still gonna be having quite a few strength focused moves where my reps are, say, less than, or right at 6, maybe even less than 6, mainly with my compound movements, of course, but most of the time I'm gonna be focusing mostly on hypertrophy work, anywhere between that 8 to 12 mostly, or maybe even sometimes up to 16, 20. Again, I'm trying to construct a really good program that I know is going to just benefit my goals during right now, and also something that I can transition into when I'm done with the cutting phase and transition back into my bulking phase, that I can still implement during that time too, and really watch that strength stack up. So again, my goal is to have this program at the end of this cut available for you guys to have at any time, if that's something that you would be interested in. And again, I'm just very excited about that. So again, today we got leg day, the first workout of the cut. But before we start this workout, it's only right that we reveal where we are starting at, guys. So again, starting right now, 20% body fat. Today is April 1st. Let's see what we're working with. It's a little bit heavier than what I had wanted to be at by the end of this bulk. And again, I'm gonna be working on my posing along the way too. So again, when you're bulking, you are stacking the pounds on, preferably all in lean muscle mass, but it's natural to get a little bit of fat gain in there too. And again, we're starting this cut at 20% body fat. That's just what we got up to. Am I proud of where I'm at right now? Not necessarily. I'm a little bit higher than I wanted to. I wanted to be maxed out at about 18% body fat at the end of this bulk, but again, it is what it is. Right now, this is our starting point. We just have to accept where we are. If you're joining me in this cut too, again, we just have to accept where we are. This is where we start, and now it's time to start taking action each and every single day. Again, putting on this lean muscle mass that I've been doing for a year now. Inbody says I've gained 10 pounds of extra lean muscle mass on my body, so I'm very excited now that I've gained the size and gained the muscle. Now it's time to go into a caloric deficit or a cut during the summer Sizzle program and reveal the body. So again, you construct and you build the body when you're in a caloric surplus, and then you reveal your body when you're in a deficit. So again, let's get this leg day, but I do have to hit one more post. Most muscular. Oh yeah, you're supposed to smile when you pose too. All right, guys, workout number 1 is going to be back squats. So one of the staple stone movements for the quads. Usually in my first week, I do heavier sets of squats, and then in my second legs of the push-pull legs rest, push-pull legs rest, is when I will typically do deadlifts or hip thrusts instead. So today we're gonna be working our way up to 3 sets of 6 reps, and right now we're just gonna start warming up. Let's get it. Typically what I do for my warm-up sets too is I do like a pyramid warm-up, where basically I'll put obviously the lightest weight at first, get a little bit higher up on the reps, and then I'll start reducing my reps and get a little bit heavier and heavier until I start reaching my working weight. And then once I reach my working weight for those 3 heavy sets, that's when I'll get into them and grind them out. Let's continue on. Worked our way up to our official working weight right here. We got 205 for 6 reps. Barbell RDLs next up on the list, aiming for 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. One of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to going into a caloric deficit and losing body weight is when it comes to strength training, a lot of people think that what you do is you start going higher in your reps. And I could see why people think that. A lot of times you might be thinking, okay, I'm gonna go higher in my reps so that I'm burning more calories because I'm getting more reps in and all of that. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't want to do that. You actually want to, yes, still get your higher rep sets or your higher rep exercises in there, but you also really want to make sure that you are still going as heavy as you can with your compound movements, because by you going as heavy as you can during your compound movements, that is allowing you to hold on to your muscle mass and your strength, which is vital, especially as you get further and further into a caloric deficit. Chances are you're gonna start getting a little bit weaker, and if you're still not trying to challenge yourself by placing a heavy stimulus on your muscles, chances are you're going to lose some of that muscle mass in the fat burning process because you're in such a far and long-term caloric deficit. So make sure that if you're going into a caloric deficit, you do not skip out on your compound movements and you go heavy. Of course, with good form as always, but go heavy at the beginning of your workouts, expend that energy, and then start working your way into those reps where it's 8 to 12. You get a little bit more hypertrophy in there. All right, guys, that does it with the first workout of the series right there. A solid leg day in the books. Again, I always start heavy and then I get those extra reps in. I build up that volume on my later sets and really isolate the muscle towards the end. So now we're gonna go home, get Scout outside for a little bit, go for my 45-minute walk, or well, 30 to 45-minute walk, but I'm always gonna try and keep it at 45 for the most part. And then we're gonna round out the night right there. Hey Siri, set an alarm for 45 minutes. All right, y'all. And our 45-minute walk starts right now. What an absolute beautiful day we are having. What an absolute beautiful day we have out here on Graffiti Falls. If you know where that is in Marquette, you're a real one. I actually just ran into 3 awesome dudes on the trail. Got to talking for a little bit. We were just sharing some names with who we might know and whatnot, and they were interested in the YouTube channel, which this is the first time I actually got to experience that, so it's pretty cool. If you guys are watching this video, you've seen this moment, shout out to you guys. You guys are pretty awesome. What we're doing right now, we're doing some low intensity, steady state cardio and just long distance walking for 45 minutes each and every single day. That's the mode of cardio that I always prefer, especially when I'm cutting. And the reason for that is when you're weightlifting 6 days a week, or even with the legs push pull, rest, legs push pull, that is a lot of high impact on your body. And what you want to make sure is that your body, when you're in a caloric deficit, does not become overtrained. And when you're in a caloric deficit, that can happen a little bit easier too. So on top of doing my weightlifting, what I would not want to do is high intensity cardio, such as running for a certain period of time or anything that is jump around too much. I will still incorporate those for sure. Like, I'm still going to get my boot camp sessions in every here and there, because that's really going to challenge my heart rate and just improve my overall aerobic capacity and ability to move functionally and fast, which is fun for me. For the long haul, just this low intensity steady state cardio, it's going to be the way to go. And not only that too, it gets me outside here in nature, which for me is really good up here for the mentality too. This is my time to get a nice big debrief from the day, have a couple thoughts go through my brain that, you know, what I'm doing is right. And I think it's very important for everybody to just get outside for a certain portion of the day. Even if you're living in a city and you might not have a waterfall right next to you. You know, I think it's still very important to get outside, just get that fresh air, listen to the birds, or even just go outside and do some people watching. It's really good for the mental. So get outside, guys, get those steps in. And side note, if I'm walking too, that's also an amazing time that I'll just throw in a podcast. Lately, I've been really loving Bedros Keuilian. He's actually the founder, and he's not CEO anymore. Now that's Bryce Henson, but he's the founder of Fit Body Bootcamp, and his podcast, just amazing. I also love Andy Frisella, who's owner, CEO of First Form Supplements, a whole bunch of things. He's also the founder of 75 Hard, which is what got me shredded last year. So sometimes I'll plug those guys in the ear if I need a little bit more motivation to push me through some of the tough days. But other than that, I mean, you can't go wrong getting outside, guys. Come on, get outside. Well, guys, there's a first time for everything. And today I crashed my drone for the first time. But on the plus side, I think it's gonna be okay. Other than one of the propellers, or well, two of the propellers, and a little scuff on the top. I mean, look at this. Oh, I guess it's back in business. I mean, they just clip right back on, the new ones, and I got extras. Never crashed a drone before. It was pretty intense. It all happened right here. I was running a little low on battery, and yeah, Scout is, I don't know if he's a major fan of drones or he's still warming up to him, so I was trying to keep the drone away from him, and it was low on battery, and so it was trying to come down at the same time, and it went in this tree. Actually, right here, you can see the scuff right in there, and a couple skid marks. There it is. And a whole bunch of stuff on the ground other than Scout's clippings. We'll see if it works or not. I think we're both tired. It's time to wrap up the video right here, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, this is a realistic look as to what my starting point is right now. 20% body fat. Not necessarily happy with the way that I looked in some of the videos earlier. I could definitely tell I was pretty bloated. But again, it is what it is. That's where we're starting. I can't control that, but now I can take back control. And that's just what we're going to do, everybody. Just making sure that I keep on focusing on the things that I can take that control on, keep on keeping on. So that's just what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to wrap up the video right here. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button right here. And if you did not see the first video in the Summer Sizzle series, make sure you check it out right here. We'll see you guys in the next video.